VOA News. I'm David Byrd. The World Health Organization reports the number of new infections of coronavirus appears to be on the decline in China, even as the disease is spreading more rapidly around the globe. As Lisa Schlein reports, the UN organization says the virus could be contained if nations take the right measures.
WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says this virus does not respect borders, and nations must seek to prevent cases from infiltrating their territory. At the same time, he says they must have a plan ready to care for those who are sick and for stopping the virus from infecting others.
Every country needs to be ready to detect cases early, to isolate patients, trace contacts, provide quality clinical care, prevent hospital outbreaks, and prevent community transmission.
Tedros says COVID-19 has pandemic potential, but there's still time to prevent country epidemics from developing into a global pandemic. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
U.S. Vice President Mike Pence convened his first meeting of the coronavirus task force Thursday, one day after President Donald Trump made him the government's point person for the epidemic. Pence said the administration's priority is protecting the American people.
The president wanted to make it clear to the American people that we're going to bring a whole-of-government approach to this. The president wanted to make it clear that what a priority this is for him and for our administration.
The vice president on Thursday brought in Debbie Birx, the administration's global AIDS coordinator and a medical doctor, to serve as his chief advisor for responding to the virus outbreak. For more, visit our website, voanews.com. You can also follow us on the VOA mobile app. This is VOA News. Turkish officials said Friday their artillery had opened fire on Syrian government targets after 22 Turkish soldiers were killed in an airstrike on Idlib Thursday. Meanwhile, the Kremlin said Thursday President Vladimir Putin has no plans to meet with Turkey's president next week to discuss the fighting in Syria. Reuters' Adam Reed reports.
Turkey has sent thousands of troops and heavy military hardware to Syria's Idlib region in its unprecedented insurgence to back the rebels. Nearly 1 million Syrian civilians have fled over the last 3 months, the biggest exodus of the war. Despite the rebels claiming a victory, Russian news agencies citing military sources are denying it. Forces loyal to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, aided by Russia and also Iranian militias, have gained ground in about 60 settlements in the last 3 days. The Kremlin said on Thursday that Vladimir Putin had no plans to meet his Turkish counterpart President Erdogan next week to discuss the situation, despite statements by Erdogan yesterday saying a meeting would be likely.
That's Adam Reed of Reuters. The UN warned on Thursday that a locust outbreak in eastern Africa is continuing to spread and threatens to intensify. Reuters' David Doyle reports.
The UN's Food and Agricultural Organization representative to Kenya, Dr. Tobias Takavarasha, says it's a disaster that eclipses all others.
Much as we say drought is a threat, much as we say that floods can be a threat, but if we are trying to rank them, I think they're all threat, but desert locust situation is an unprecedented threat on food security.
A single square kilometre swarm can eat as much food in a day as 35,000 people. And the FAO warned last month that, left unchecked, the number of locusts in East Africa could explode by 500 times by June.
That is David Doyle reporting. On Wall Street, markets continued to plunge for the 6th straight day on investor worries about the economic impact of the COVID-19 virus. AP's Mike Gracia reports.
The drubbing on financial markets stemming from coronavirus outbreak worries continued in Thursday's trading on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrials plunged 1,193 points, losing 4.4% to close at 25,763. The S&P 500 lost 137 points, or 4.4%, and the Nasdaq fell 414 points, shedding 4.6% of value. The S&P is headed to its worst week since October 2008. I'm Mike Gracia.
For more, visit our website, voanews.com. I'm David Byrd. VOA News.